So it still goes on in Versailles, Vermont. Now, again, they almost killed me again last night. Intense pain from this one light. You could hear them talking as they tried to tune into my head, as they say. Okay, 3 people on me. I can't find your light beam. I'm going down. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I took a big piece of mylar, wrapped it around my head, took this big metal pot and put it on my head. Okay, because they were trying to hit my head with this high frequency sound weapon to create some sort of epileptic attack, seizure, maybe death. All I hear them, they're like they're pathetic sociopaths. They start crying if they can't get their death killing. They're like real hormonal. Um, some of these are old guys and some young guys, and then middle-aged guys hiding as contractors. Okay, they're in Versailles, Vermont. Now these conventional law methods don't work up here anymore. Apparently, I know who they are. I see them. I can hear them right now. They're cocky. They're cocky. Like, you can't touch us, right? Because they keep knocking me down. You know what I mean? But I haven't touched them yet. I haven't gone near their property. I haven't gone near their house. And they're right there. I haven't even gotten involved with them, right? I didn't steal anything from them. Again, now there's no one out here listening, of course. But apparently, I guess there's got to be some way to put an end to this. These are sick people, and I don't think the FBI is aware that these are possible serial killers. I mean, very strongly possible that there are people up here abusing people in such a way with such a method of madness. You know, they are literally like just capturing these old people and taking their wealth. Now, these houses are way up in the boonies. There could be a little tiny house sitting up there, really nice. You know, no one goes there. The woman or man or the couple have been there for 20, 30 years. Very totally in love with each other. These guys Miranda up the road for a little contracting job, and they're like, we got a fucking easy mark up here. And they take them out. Now, this is all evident by the town hall, which probably has all these sales or transfers that occurred over the past 10 years. This has been going on now since my neighbor Stuart Bowles, right, moved in. It was very quiet 15 years ago. There was a lot of commerce up here. Things were moving. People had jobs. You got the It's Classified local newspaper was bustling. Activity was bustling. People were involved with each other. There was art galleries. There was people selling stuff, people moving about. There was tag sales. There was friendships, smiling neighbors. This is 15 years ago, okay? It's 15 years later, and this people that came up here, they destroyed this little tiny economy with their own little drug dealing network. Okay, people don't drive around like they used to. There aren't little art galleries. There aren't these little tag sales. If there are, they're not like they used to be, right? The people you do see are worn down, struggling, right? The good people, right? The other bad people, they're driving nice, shiny trucks, new vehicles. Some of them have 2 vehicles, right? And they actually switch off on a vehicle every other day. Other people struggling up here, they have 1 vehicle and they can barely get that 1 vehicle to get them to work and back home. These people, they got 2, 3 vehicles. They're like in a delusional, coked out world of happiness and joy. Okay? Again, this is going on up here. If someone ever happens across this little broadcast and you have connections in the FBI or the CIA or the NSA, would you please? This is Versailles, Vermont, 05079. They are killing people secretly, burying their bodies in the woods, taking their homes as though they are the family that's left over. It's happened already twice up here in the news. Okay? They found a shallow grave right down the road. Right? The only reason why the guy ratted him out was because his conscience bothered him. Now, these people are unconscionable up there. A lot of them aren't from this area. They're from Canada, from the mountains of Canada, and they've migrated down. These are those sick fuckers from Canada that live out in the Yukon, right? What do they call it? Way up there in that bay way up there. These are the sick fucking people. You know, totally sick. They're not American. They don't even think American. You know, they don't know the Pledge of Allegiance. They don't even know what the American flag looks like. Most of them, they have fake IDs. They don't pay taxes. Okay. This is my neighbor eavesdropping, listening. He knows it. You know how he knows it? Because he's a fucking spy. He's a sleeper spy. He thinks he's an American. Okay. They go around and they do what they did to me. They invade your home when you're sleeping. They knock you unconscious with this microwave. They go in and they take a little tiny needle that they put these little bug trackers and dogs and animals, and they merely pop those in you. Now they can watch you and listen when you're home and when you're not home. When you go away, right, they acquire whatever. They might go through your paperwork, still some deeds, some billing, whatever. And they gradually peck away at your life until it's your time to go. Now, my time to go was 2 years ago, about this time, when they burnt my house down. Okay? And they killed my mother, my father, my stepmother in order to isolate me, because now I have no mother or father to say, Dad, would you please help me? Or Mom, could you help me? And they can say, okay, we got our friends on our network to help you. Right? No, that's gone. There is no network because they isolated me. So it's me against them. And based upon what's happening, and I'm a fighter. I've been a free-spirited kind of mountain guy, sleeping in a hole for 40 years, you know. The old man sleeping in the woods by the tree for 20 years. That's me. I don't bother no one. I don't go nowhere. I don't talk to no one. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm a fighter. Okay? I'm a Wolverine. You understand? I'm going to fight right to the end. And I hope this nitwit understands that. I'm not going to give up my life because some scum thinks he's going to take over my life. Right? Which is merely a piece of land, 200 feet by 500 feet. Right? Why do they want it? That's what they want. That's money for them. Right? So I'm warning you who's listening now. I'm making this public again. I'm going to keep putting the word out the rest of my life, okay? It's going on 3 years now. Could you imagine me doing this for 15 years before somebody helps? And then when they do find out, they're like, holy shit. These people killed 60 fucking people up in Versailles, Vermont. All their bodies are in the mountains, and they all live in these people's homes as their relatives, right? Like there's this one guy, right? They'll say it's John Cullinan, lives down the road from Joseph Cullinan, right? They're like, that's his brother? No, it's a colored man. That's not my brother, right? Or there's Jan Cullinan. That's an Asian woman that lives up over on that side, right? Because they couldn't get in to acquire my property, so they stuck him in another piece of property with another fake bunch of ID. Okay, it's going on. You know, FBI guy, I don't understand what your problem is and why you don't see it. It's really disturbing to think that you're portrayed in movies as being very intelligent. And the more I observe simple crimes going on, I mean, I'm watching this shit go down. I'm listening to people screaming as they're being taken into the woods. And I'm reporting this shit. And no one's really looking into it. And it's like, there's no way. I saw a guy carry someone out in a box in front of his house. The night before, you heard a gunshot, right? The next day, two guys are trying to move some very heavy thing out of a big cardboard box, right? I mean, a big box. They didn't receive any appliances. They just got a box. They saw I had this camera. It points right down the road here. That's the house right there. I could see someone with this big box, and they're like dragging it and taking a break. And I'm out here in my road, in the driveway. I'm looking down like, what the fuck are they moving? And I'm thinking the night before, the day before, there was a gunshot at like 5 a.m. I'm like, gee, that's odd. This guy next door over here, this is like 4 years ago. He pulls in, and I hear this, right? I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because I had a security camera with a little microphone outside, right? I had bird feeder set up. Go to Fort Hermit, you can see what it looked like out my window. And I could hear this. Okay, now I can't call the police and tell them I hear it sounds like some woman being abducted into this house. But this is what they do. Okay? And they'll sit there and smile to you and say, oh, Mr. Collins is crazy. But you know something? The proof is in the pudding, man. They're already finding this shit. It's trickling out little by little. Some of these crimes were committed 20 years ago and are starting to trickle out now. Okay? So please, somebody, if you know someone, just, maybe tell them to look into it. Because if I die, eventually they're going to kill me based upon the headache I have now. And this, I mean, I can only hide for so long. They keep saying this thing is so powerful. This is a spot beam, he says. He said, this thing was supposed to kill him. It's a spot beam. Now, I don't understand why this didn't. I'm listening to this guy talk about his new laser he got. That's supposed to be a spot beam. That's supposed to really bake the brain and kill him. This is how they're killing people now. At 500 feet, 1,000 feet, they'll find you sleeping in your home. And they merely take this little XY stage that you'd see on a microscope, right? And they just turn it little. And they find your head sleeping. And they just turn the heat up. Sometimes I even heard that sound in my head, right? I've even smelt something cooking once in my fucking sinuses, right? It might have been like my brain cooking, which brings to mind Hannibal Lecter, where Hannibal Lecter makes the FBI agent eat his brain. This is what we're dealing with up here, serial killers. So somebody, wake up, smell the coffee. Which brings to mind, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I'm going to wait. Thank God I have a pistol permit and I'm not a felon. These are all felons. I don't want to have to buy an assault rifle and get to that stage of, defending myself. I assume the methods of conventional law enforcement would be adequate for dealing with this, but they're not. Some of these people are like those sick movies where they actually work for the police department, and they're a covert little sick group of insane people who show up for work, and then they go out and they will pick someone up, and 3 cops will come in their uniforms and beat the shit out of this punk or a woman, have their way with her, and then not even think twice about, just dump her up in Lake Champlain or something. Again, body found in Lake Champlain last week. I heard these guys talking yesterday about how some woman was left in a house and her body was there, and they had to get rid of this other one and put it somewhere. And they just said, one guy says, well, I just drove it up to that lake and just dumped it there. Right? I hear this on this channel. Now, this is a covert sound audio channel. You cannot discern it or pick it up. They put these little earbuds that the NSA, CIA have. These are used for overseas deep undercover operations in the military. Okay? They're using them internally. They're not used internally here. The only ones that might have it would be a vet or someone that may have gone on a mission, right? Now, this is the technology they're using. They're here. Now, this is localized. You're not going to pick the signal up from a 5-mile radius in Washington, D.C. up here. You have to come up, and you're going to have to set up a listening post somewhere out here. And then you have to listen, because some of these signals are drifting in and out. Some are on the power grid as listening devices. Some are legitimate, fake, warranted, investigations. Some are realistic, fake, warranted surveillance, but with fake channels under them. So you'll have a real one, and then under that are 4 channels of audio of fake ones going. And the real one's the one that's documented and all, logistically timed and really, diligently written out. And, the other ones are fake, which they use to create and correlate fake little surveillances that they then will get a warrant for after they create the image. Now, this is what they're doing. Okay? It's what's doing up here. They do it in the big cities a lot, but it's harder to detect them in the cities because there's 20,000 people in the same area up here. There's only what? I would say 50 people in a 5-mile radius of my house. Out of the 50, there might be 10 people involved in this. 10 people. This is a cell. This is a terror cell up here. Okay? I'm warning you. I told you. This is going to be a problem for the people of the country, of New England, for sure. Right down to Westminster, right into New Hampshire, Manchester, right up to Burlington, that whole strip. Covert Russian operatives. They're hidden in the hospitals. They work as doctors. We got the Middle Eastern crew. These are Middle Eastern doctors. Now, you do an analysis of American doctors, or white American doctors. Okay? They are very few compared to the amount of foreigners that came into this country over the past 15, 20 years. Most of all these foreigners are linked to this terror group that have been implanting Americans with this new device that allows them to monitor and track them and influence their health. This is going on. It's there. It's there. I don't know what to tell you. Good luck, because right now, I might be dead tomorrow. You'll never even know.